and welcome to the final Q&A video all about Stronghold Warlords. I'm Natasha, Community Manager here at Firefly Studios, and we've been collecting your questions from every corner of the internet. Today is our final Q&A pre-launch, and if you didn't hear your question being answered, I'm so sorry, but you might find it in one of our other Q&A videos, so do not forget to check those out. So today I'm joined with Nick, Mighty Lord Nick. And he has all of the answers about Stronghold Warlords. How are you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm good. Excited to answer some more questions.
Okay, let's get cracking. Next question comes from Alex Cole. Will the special edition include a season pass of DLC?
Yeah, I've had quite a few people ask me about this, both on the sort of, player community side, the business side. We don't have any plans for a season pass for the game. We're honestly just pretty busy just kind of getting the core game as polished as possible, especially with the unexpected delays we've had. But once the game's out and, we see how people are finding it, I think that'll be the right time to talk about what we've decided to do in terms of post-launch content. But no season pass. It'll just be base game and then a special edition as well.
Great. Next question is from Riva the Slav again. Will mercenaries be a thing in Warlords?
I think I know what he means by this. We'll have both the barracks and the military academy, which essentially serves as a mercenary post. Like you'd have in Crusader, you'd have the ability to recruit all the Arabic troops.
Pay for them or something.
Yeah, so this is where you're going to recruit specialised units, like the monk, the samurai, the horse archer, and then the barracks is where you'll get most of your kind of bread and butter auxiliary Chinese troops from.
Are the ones in the barracks always going to be cheaper than the special units? Because you pay for both, don't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if we're following the kind of normal convention, then Military Academy is gold-based, so there's a much higher gold cost, and then obviously you have to pay for the armor and stuff like that as well. That's a factor. But yes, generally speaking, they'll be more expensive and more specialized, and then the barracks are your kind of, not quite your cannon fodder, but the bulk of your attack, the kind of the body of the attack.
Right, next question is from Solvent Man.
The worst superhero.
Will floods be available in skirmish or multiplayer?
Right now they're limited to missions, although I believe they can be used in the map editor. So yeah, if you want to create custom maps, you can add that, I believe.
Next question is from Bezdras. Do walls get destroyed during the flooding event?
Walls won't be destroyed, no, for a variety of technical and gameplay-related reasons, but buildings will. So I think the idea is that, at least sort of thematically and in terms of immersion, the walls are, built to last, whereas the buildings are a bit more rickety and subject to being destroyed. So walls will not be destroyed by the flooding, no.
Next question is from Alexandre Rose. What makes medieval Asia different? How do you capture it?
A lot of research. I think in particular we're really, really proud of the campaigns themselves, because we're kind of, it was really interesting going in and finding out about some characters that, you don't necessarily hear about in a lot of video games. I think for like Japan, it's basically always just Oda Nobunaga in pretty much every video game. So doing, a different character there was fun. Qin Shi Huang, I think he's been in Civilization before, but not massively present in other video games. And Thuk Fan, first time learning about him was on this project, and then Genghis is probably the most widely known one. But yeah, we did quite a lot of research on that front, and also the music as well. I think is just Robert Uvino, who does the soundtrack. He's an absolute legend, and he's such a massive part of setting the mood. And yeah, a completely new region and a new setting was a pretty big challenge for him. I think he's happy to admit that, but he's absolutely smashed it in our opinion. So yeah, we're really, really proud of sound, art, and the research that went into the four nations of the game, especially given the obvious limits of a relatively small team. So a lot of research is the short answer.
Great. The next question is from humans. ...
I think the ... was in the username. I haven't just added that.
It's from humans.
Humans? Question mark?
Anyway, humans asks, do peasants have voice lines?
Yes. So another sort of like big fan requested feature. You click on a peasant, and they will say something nice or something nasty about how you're running the castle.
Great. Humans also asks, have you considered making a Patreon for fans?
I think I've seen like a few smaller developers do this. Obviously, we're small, but we're not tiny, and we've got the back catalogue, and we're pretty good at the moment in terms of a business. So we haven't really thought about doing it, to be honest. I think we prefer feedback just on Discord and YouTube and a few of the other places we talk to fans. I think if we got money involved, it would be a different kind of discussion. So I think for the moment we're happy just getting free feedback from people and having a conversation, without money involved, apart from buying the games.
Makes sense. So the next question is from Mizu. Do Warlord buffs stack?
Yeah, so if you've, for instance, got there'll be maps, either campaign missions or custom maps, where you have multiple warlords of the same type, and yes, warlord perks will stack. They're by design, they will improve as the warlord upgrades, and that will sort of that'll stack to different levels of effect. We do set a limit on a perk by perk basis to make sure things don't go absolutely insane. But yes, warlord buffs will stack to some degree.
Great. So the next question comes from Luke. Because it's set in Asia, does that mean no crossbowmen?
No, not at all. The Warring States period, which I'm pretty sure QSH Qin Shi Huang is, helped kick off. Saw the introduction and use of crossbows in China, and we'll have the Imperial crossbowmen as a playable unit in the game. So there will absolutely be crossbows. Don't worry.
The next question comes from Shadow Nemesto. Will warlords regenerate their bases and forces?
They will do, but not automatically or passively. If you spend diplomacy points, you can either use the repair edict to rebuild their bases, their forces, or you can just upgrade their castle, which will have the effect of automatically repairing it for you at the same time. So that's our first top tip there. If you're gonna repair a castle and you want to upgrade it eventually, just upgrade it, because it will save you some diplomacy points.
That's an insider's tip.
There you go. First guide.
So the next question comes from. Do you like that? That's the pause. 'Cause their name is just
nice.
...
I thought you were just going to be like ... And I was like, oh, she's doing a bit. Cool.
So the ellipsis asks for, will you be releasing merch? Please, Sir Nick.
I was thinking about this earlier when I was looking at the questions, and I was wondering how many copies of the game we'd have to sell for merch to be like worth it as an indie developer. I'm going to say 1 million copies.
1 million copies?
Yeah.
What kind of merch would we even sell? Like key rings?
Oh, I've got a bag of ideas. I've got so many
Bags
ideas.
being one of them.
A physical bag with pieces of paper in it.
Next question comes from Count Winebeer. Great name. How much will Warlords cost?
So the base game will cost $40, £30, and €35. And then obviously there'll be other currencies that we're selling at on Steam. So just check Steam at launch, and if those three don't cover you, you'll be able to find out. We might have a slight launch discount on Steam. So wishlist the game if you want to find out about any of that.
Next question comes from Yoshida Kurosagi. How many Warlords are going to be in the game?
8 Warlord types at launch, and then as we've always said, if people really like the game, respond well to it, and the game sells well enough, Warlords are probably one of the easiest things for us to add in updates. So that number could easily go up if people like the game.
The next question comes from Yoshida Kurosagi again. Will all campaign missions use the Warlord system?
Not every mission. The majority of missions will do, yeah. If you use a custom map, as I've said before, in skirmish games, you'll be able to play without them. But the majority of missions will use them because the game's definitely been built and designed around the Warlord system. So it will be an option in custom maps, but most of the default maps and missions will use them.
The next question comes from Mushroom Pickles. How big are the maps going to be?
Yeah, so we'll have small, medium, large, extra large maps in the game, and to get an idea for what that means, you can check out many of our campaign videos and free build gameplay videos. We usually mention in those what kind of size of map we're looking at, and then there's loads of those already uploaded on YouTube. So check those out if you want an idea for how the map size will vary depending on what game mode you're playing.
So the next question is from Mr. S. What will the build time on walls be?
So walls and all structures in the game will build instantly, just like every Stronghold game, I think, that's come out before.
The next question is from Link X Lank. Will there ever be mounted samurai?
We would absolutely love to add more units to the game. Obviously, that's quite a lot of work, and it has to perform well enough. People need to want more for us to do that. But yeah, we'd definitely look into that post-launch, depending on whether people enjoy it or not.
Mounted samurai would be quite heavy for the poor horse, though.
Yeah. wait. You want a guy with armor and weapons on my back? No. Not doing that. We've got quite a few mounted units in the game. We've got the auxiliary cavalry, imperial cavalry, and horse archers. So yeah, there'll be plenty of mounted units in there.
The next question comes from Sir Valdemar. Will there be fog of war in Warlords?
So just like instant build, there'll be no fog of war in the game because it's kind of a series tradition at this point. There are various factors for this. The game's kind of balanced around it, but I think the main reason behind it in the original Stronghold was just to not overwhelm the player, because you've got all the simulation gameplay or the RTS, and then I think they maybe removed fog of war because they were just like, this is a lot for people. Let's just give them something.
Next question comes from Mushroom Pickles. Are units going to have collision models?
Yep. You can check out Troops and Walls improvements for more information on how that works.
The next question comes from Lord O'Crutch.
Okay,
Sorry. Okay, Rich? Crutch? I don't know. Anyway, is there any chance of Stronghold on consoles?
Not for Warlords. Sorry. No good news on that front. But, it's definitely something we consider kind of going forward.
Next question is from Yoshida Kurosagi. Can we put buildings near castle walls?
Yes, indeed you can.
Next question is from Darky. Will map rotation use the mouse wheel or keyboard?
It will use, I think, either, actually. I think it was the mouse wheel initially, and then we added Q and E as it was kind of requested by lots of fans, and also me. I like using Q and E as well, so I made a case for that. And so that's you can choose between either option.
I don't think I ever use Q and E in any games. Even when you have to walk sideways, I never use it. I just sort of rotate and then turn. I don't know, I'm a WASD girl. Watching
quite a lot of people play the demos as well, a lot of people just weren't even aware that you could rotate the camera. So yes, good information to include in this. Q and E, or you can press down the mouse wheel and move the mouse, and you can rotate the camera because it's a 3D game.
Next question comes from Let's Amp. Will there be original dubs like Hideyoshi speaking Japanese?
So the AI characters will speak in the sort of language that you're playing the game. So Hideyoshi will speak English if you're playing English, French if you're playing French, and then this applies to all the other languages we're supporting as well. We felt this was important because the AI taunts are really important to know because they often indicate whether you're about to be attacked or not. It's far easier for us to add jokes and humor into the game if we're using the native language in question, and also it would mean subtitling those, and there's just so much going on, on the screen in the UI that it would just be a bit too much. So the answer is that the AI characters will speak in the language that you're playing it in, assuming that the language is one that we're supporting with audio, and that information is on the Steam store page. And for the same reason, we have the Peasants speaking in the native language that you're playing in as well, assuming we support it, just because people love being able to click on the feedbacks and hear them complain about the fact that you're doing a terrible job as the lord of their castle. So we wanted to make sure we got that humour in the game as well.
Next question is from Darky. Will Stronghold Warlords be on Epic Games?
No Epic release. We'll be on Steam and hopefully a handful of other websites as well. So watch this space.
Pity Mapper asks, what is the lowest option for graphics?
So we'll have low, medium, high, and ultra settings, and then low, I believe, will be in line with the minimum system requirements, which can actually be found now on the Steam store page.
The next question is also from Pity Mapper asking, will there be Arabic troops?
No Arabic troops in Warlords. We're kind of just 100% focused on the on the new setting and making as much as we can of that. So we're sticking to East Asia in terms of characters and units.
Calvin079 asks, are you planning a special edition as well?
So that will include a full soundtrack. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head how many tracks that is, but it's pretty good and pretty substantial. It'll include a copy of Stronghold HD, digital art book, which is really nice, and it'll include a almost hour and a half long making of documentary, which I highly suggest you check out if you do pick that up.
Communistic Warlord asks, how much will the special edition cost?
The Warlord Special Edition will be $50, £35, and €40. And then, obviously, again, if you're after other currencies, just check the Steam store page at launch, and it'll tell you how much it costs.
Bad Decoy asks, will Warlords allow us to play in co-op over multiplayer?
Yes, it will. Expect more details on that soon.
Jergy asks, at what time will the game unlock on Steam?
We're aiming to make it live by 6 p.m. GMT on Tuesday, March 9th.
Dark Knight asks, what will the final videos be about? Is Nick dancing again?
I hope not. You'll have to wait and see. We've got a few videos planned now that we've got this extra time between now and the start of March. Sadly, current lockdown, probably not going to be dancing in the Firefly office right now. But amazingly, we still have a few features to reveal and spotlight, and obviously questions to answer as well. So it's coming.
And the final question is from or Triple M. I don't know.
Triple M sounds like a wrestler.
It does. And the final question is, how many story and skirmish mode missions are there?
So I'm 90% sure on this. There are 31 campaign missions in total, and that includes the economic portion of the campaign. And there will be 9 maps at launch for skirmish mode, and then also 3 maps specifically made for free build mode. And a bit like Warlords, when it comes to post-launch updates, maps are fairly straightforward for us to add. So, assuming the game does fairly well, you can expect more maps to be added post-launch as well.
And that was our final question.
So that was it for our 3-part Q&A series for Stronghold Warlords. We will probably have other Q&As, but they'll come post-launch. I think at this point we've pretty much answered every question we have answers to. What do you think?
I think so. There's probably a few that have slipped through the cracks, so we do apologise.
Yeah. If there's anything we haven't seen, definitely join the Discord. Ask us on there. We're usually hanging out there. But yeah, at this point, we're definitely looking forward to doing some of these post-launch as well, because there'll be questions about the base game, future plans, etc., which we'll be happy to answer post-launch. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Stay tuned here on YouTube for more Stronghold Warlords reveals and more spotlight videos, gameplay in the coming weeks.
And most importantly, of course, don't forget the game is coming out on March 9th. It is not long to go. Woo!
Woo!
Was the woo too much?
No, it was good. It was the
Okay.
right amount of woo.
Don't want to over woo.
No.